hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios.
Driven by General Tire.
It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Nation, in the 23 years of doing Speed Freaks, if you would have gone back maybe 20, 22 of those and told me that we're going to have a NASCAR Cup Series winner on the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a gentleman that we talked to on the night of his honeymoon, if you told me that that was going to happen, I would have probably said, wouldn't surprise me. And damn it if it didn't. How you doing, man? Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Statman, Richard C. Suave on MAV TV, and, of course, the Freak Radio Network on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They're there for you. Hell of a show tonight. Michael McDowell with the big win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 50-plus laps he led, kicked the ass out of everybody else that we picked for Beat the Freaks. Big wins for him. Speaking of big wins, Tony Kanaan will be here in the Freak Nation talking about coaching Kyle Larson when he runs the Indy 500 next weekend. Kyle Larson.
Next year.
Next weekend. Yeah, it's happening next weekend. Next year. Kyle Larson will be in here. Rick Hendrick will be in here talking about the 2024 run for the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 that evening. Also coming up, Chris Blair, General Manager, President of Worldwide Technology Raceway. The next IndyCar race coming up in 2 weeks. He'll be here in the Freak Nation. Speaking of, Scott Dixon, 19 freaking years. You know, this doesn't sound like much, but it really is. 19 straight years with a race win in the IndyCar series. And Statman, every damn time you, me, Crash, Richard C. Suave grab the shovel to bury that son of a gun, he's back in the second spot in the IndyCar series with that win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
There's no way that Statman is going to grab a shovel and bury Scott Dixon at anything. Just like I was on the bandwagon from the beginning for Jimmy Johnson, I will stay on the bandwagon for Scott Dixon. I will lead the band. I will be the marching, what do they call it? The major, drum major at the beginning. Yep. I am one of Scott Dixon's biggest fans.
You will be the drum major. I want to see that. That alone is worth the price of admission. You will be the drum major for one of the winningest drivers in IndyCar history, Scott Dixon.
I am dead in the front of the bandwagon for Scott Dixon. Have been and stay. I will stay that way.
I think Scott Dixon needs to, speaking of shovels, Scott Dixon needs to be buried before Statman hops off that Scott Dixon bandwagon. Is that correct?
I will go down a couple of feet when they bury him, but I ain't going the whole way. I ain't that crazy. But
So again, Scott Dixon with a huge race win in Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There was just sounds silly. His nickname is Iceman. You can never count the guy out, but I can promise you, Hinchcliffe, Townsend Bell, and Lee Diffie. I can say promise you, I don't know. I don't think either one of those had him winning the IndyCar Series race, Crasher.
Oh, no. They admitted that, didn't they? Towards the end of the broadcast. We had so much coming in and out of our ears yesterday, but I'm pretty sure I heard something to that avail that they were thinking, wait a minute, did you have him? Was he on your bingo card for the Brickyard weekend? Nope. But there he is. And he did it after crashing or being involved in an incident on the first lap. Yep. He didn't have a great starting position anyway, got caught up in some melee and still drove from the back to win. It's just, it was being chased down.
While we're on the subject of NBC, let me throw my hat in this ring.
Okay.
They have the absolute best announcers between Fox and NBC, the best on all of their broadcasts. I bought in this weekend, listening to all of that. It's no question. No question.
Well, it's cool also when you can see it all together. It's all in one facility and you can see it all together, that the broadcasts bounce back and forth, Cup qualifying to the IndyCar race and then over to the Xfinity race and then today the Cup race. It's just, and everybody's basically partnering up with each other. I mean, Hinchcliffe was on the NASCAR stuff today, and you had Dale Jr. and, of course, Letarte doing some IndyCar stuff yesterday. It's just the camaraderie that there has to be something said for what they've built over the last, 5 to 8 years, and that camaraderie is really working just overtime in the booth and in the pits as well.
And not only that, but they're telling me stuff that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that, to me, when I was producing sports, I would hammer the analyst. You've got to tell me something that I'm not seeing. I could see the guy is fast. You got to tell me why. And even Ward Burton, and I'm not a fan of Ward Burton, but even Burton today was describing accelerating. You hear the wheels coming out of a turn, and all it was amazing. They by far are the better of the two broadcast teams.
Jeff Burton, not Ward Burton.
Jeff Burton, yeah.
I don't know. I would like to see Ward Burton up in that studio, giving that freaking Virginian accent, whatever the hell. I would love to hear that. And a perfect example, you know what, frankly, I don't know if this conversation is punching any tickets, but I like it. I wanted to talk more about Michael McDowell's win, but Statman, a perfect example happened when Suarez came into the pits and Letarte was there. I mean, milliseconds telling me why they had an issue. Granted, the replay was on it, but why they had an issue with Suarez pit stop. As soon as the front
air gun, right?
Yeah, when the front end of the car came down on the air hose, he couldn't move it, so they had to bring the jack back around to get the air hose. And then they showed how the air hose got looped around and how that kind of screwed up the pressure. I mean, that was immediate. And Letarte spotted that. I would have had, the car just sat down on the hose. That was a problem. No, there were other intricacies that Letarte told me that I'm talking about him for 60 seconds. I would not have been able to do that.
What was crazy was when the jack man came to the front of the car, when the guy was yelling, "I need the jack," it looked like he almost threw it to him.
Yes.
Did you catch that too?
Yes.
He'd like stretch it out in his arm. So, well, I can't do that. So he ran around the thing, but he might have thrown it to him if they were on the practice.
So yeah, my props to that group as well. And we were in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Media Center for some of the race, and I don't know if it's that I just love, and I've loved Dale Earnhardt Jr. for so long, that his excitement, right or wrong, is contagious. Sometimes funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes, in my opinion, over the top.
Sometimes, over the top and childlike.
Yeah.
Some of his reactions today were just hilarious. And I'm like, you don't get that from everybody, but the genuinity that comes through because of it is second to none, like Statman was pointing out.
Whoa. Genuinity?
Bam! What the hell was that?
Ebonics, my word.
Damn.
You guys have been in Indy too long. Genuinity.
It sounds good, right?
It sounded good, but you can't sneak you can sneak a lot of stuff past the stat man, but genuinity, that's a classic.
Hey, Suave, here's a good one for you, because I think I'm too close to Dale Earnhardt Jr. I just love the guy. This guy has, if I'm not a fan of anyone that says, well, this guy deserves to be an a-hole. No one deserves to be an a-hole. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how many championships you've won, how many listen, if you've opened up 36,000 freaking brains and corrected thinking process of individuals, you can be an a-hole. But you drive a G-damn race car, you put a ball through the hoop, you hit a ball over the fence, you have no reason to be an a-hole. And of all the athletes that are out there that could be on a top tier Mount Rushmore to be a-holes, it could be Dale Jr., but he's not. And I think I'm so close to that just the fact that he takes time out to DM me, to text us, to talk to us at tracks. This guy, listen, he could throw us to the curb. So I just don't know if I'm too close to really comment properly on what Dale's doing. Statman likes him, Crasher.
That's
right?
true. We all like him a lot. He's just a genuine guy. Don't worry, I'm not going with the uinity.
Could you put it out there, dude, and just say, the freaks think Dale Jr. is
we love you, man.
Is freaking awesome on the NBC broadcast? Do you agree?
But what are we trying to get at of people by putting that out there? I mean, we need a purpose for the tweet besides, hey, isn't he great?
I know. It's like asking Kyle.
No haters.
What's that?
Dale Jr. has no haters.
Yeah. It's like asking Kyle Busch fans, hey, do you like Kyle Busch? Huh?
Of course they do.
Right?
Well, this quadrant, you might get a weird response from this quadrant of the screen.
So
hey, hold on. Before we get off of the Kyle Busch tidbit here.
Boy, here we go.
No. There was a guy that handed him today a black hat. And the guy was kind of starstruck. He was so excited. He had a black 3Chi hat. Can you sign it? And Kyle looked at it, and he had a black Sharpie with him. And he's like, he didn't have to do anything because he's just going through signing things, not really paying attention. He looks at this guy, and he's like, hold on a second. Turns around to some other people. Says, anybody got a silver Sharpie? Finds a silver Sharpie and signs it and gives it back to him. Made the guy's day. I'm like, the old Kyle Busch wouldn't have done that. So this guy's growing.
Statman, don't comment. We got to go to break. Crasher. No, you can't turn Statman, man. It ain't happening. It's not happening. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Kyle Larson, Rick Hendrick about running that 2024 Indy 500. That's next.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Bommarito Automotive Group 500 Monolak Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
enough. Can't say it. You can see it on my shirt, man. Lucas Oil, proud partners of the Freak Nation, a heavy presence for the IndyCar Series race and the NASCAR Cup Series race. Go to their website, lucasoil.com. You got issues with inside your engine, outside your engine, the exterior of your car looking a little shabby, need a little bit of shine. Go to Lucas Oil. Inside the interior of your car, Lucas Oil. I don't have enough time to name the number of products to make that car fat and happy. Go to lucasoil.com. Michael McDowell wins the race this afternoon, and I didn't get emotional like Statman did one time, bawling his eyes out when Buddy Rice won the freaking Indy 500.
2004.
I think Statman cried another time. I never cried on the air, but. When Michael McDowell won today, and I'm driving because we had to leave the track a little earlier listening to PRN. And when Michael McDowell won this race, again, he's a mid to lower tier team with Front Row Motorsports. Just renewed his contract for next year and the year beyond, I believe it is. What does Michael McDowell go out there? He puts me, Crash, Stat, Suave, and 99.9% of the country that was betting on the NASCAR Cup Series race that he would not win. No one picked Michael McDowell. I'm curious what the odds were. Richie, find that out. Michael McDowell goes out there and slays the Dragons. He's got the number 9 of Chase Elliott behind him. 4 car links, 5, 6 car links, 4 car links on that last couple of laps. What does he do? He goes out there and wins that damn race, and bam, he's locked in. He's won the Daytona 500, and now he's won on the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I couldn't be happier for this very humble Phoenician who, again, Statman, anytime we mention Mike McDowell, when he was running sports cars on our Saturday show, he calls in the honeymoon, the night
of his wedding.
To be on the G-Damn show.
Not only the night of, he called us while he was in bed with his new wife. At least that's what he said. Because we said, who are you talking to? What's going on? It sounds like you're in bed. He says, I am.
Yeah, we're just chilling. It's like, wait, what? Wait, you just had a wedding? What?
And you're calling us, I mean, come on.
I just think it's fantastic. And again, over the years, one thing that we've prided ourselves on is really getting 2-wheel, 4-wheel, I don't care what series it is, to where damn near anybody can win a race. And it wasn't a fluke. Dude,
no. This was legit.
Dude led more laps, 54
of
54, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a freaking fluke. AJ Allmendinger, who we all picked, which, by the way, Richie, I don't know if you've done the math yet, but my picks sucked hind boob.
So did mine.
Kyle Busch, AJ Allmendinger, and who else the hell I have? Kyle Larson, I think it was. And we make our picks like Thursday or Friday at the latest. The advantage that the Freak Nation has is they can make their picks as early as Sunday morning prior to the race.
You're giving an advantage to our viewers.
Listen, they can see qualifying. They can see where these guys line up. I went down the elevator unintentionally with AJ Allmendinger Friday afternoon. Right. He would have talked normally all the way down. He said one word to me. Not good, AJ? Nope. That was it.
He was in a horrible mood Friday after qualifying.
And I was so close to going back and editing my pick. I just damn. And then he did. He sucked. Yeah.
I had 2 of the top 10, so I got to be in there somewhere. I had Reddick and Van Gisbergen and AJ, which, we throw away, but I had 2 of the top 10.
Okay. It might be tough to beat Statman then.
Yeah. For the record, our contestant, Team Money, as he goes by on the Twitter / X. Mm-hmm. So Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson. Tyler Reddick, I believe, was the best finishing in the bunch. I think he took home with top 5. Kyle Larson was, I believe, on the back end of the top 10, if not outside of it. And then C. Bell was, I believe, kind of around that top 10 as well. So it's going to be It's going to be close. Stay tuned to our social media channels. And our crack staff gets to it and adds the math together later this week.
Yeah, somebody's got to feed the mice, you know? I mean, we can't.
Right.
We can't keep giving away General Tire. I think this is going to be a giveaway week. I think that man just won.
All right. We knew that Kyle Larson was going to run the Indy 500 next year for quite a while now, but they had the unveiling this morning at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rick Hendrick was there. Roger Penske was there. Kyle Larson was there. Skipjack from McLaren was there.
No, Zach. No, really? Are we going to go there? Zach Brown was not there. Gavin Ward was there.
Yeah, that's who I meant. Gavin Ward was there.
The whole team was there, but the team owner wasn't there.
Got it.
There's a little bit of drama going on this weekend, by the way.
Rick Hendrick was asked in the press conference, and pardon, I'm shooting this press conference with my snappy cell phone, so it's kind of shaky if you're watching this on MAV TV.
Did you eat breakfast?
Rick Hendrick was asked about, has he ever thought about or ever been involved in IndyCar or the Indy 500?
In putting together an IndyCar program, or is this the first time that it's really gotten serious?
Yeah, Jeff Gordon and I talked about it, but he wasn't really keen. He was so focused on driving a Cup car, and but this is the first time that we really got serious with it. And so Roger and I have talked about it for years. I actually had a sticker on his car a couple of years back, and but no, this is the first real effort that we said, hey, let's go do it.
And what I find interesting about Roger Penske having a sticker, or him having a sticker on Roger Penske's car, that's like the Cowboys having a Washington Commanders sticker somewhere on their jersey, because those cats are fierce competitors. Kyle Larson,
especially with their auto dealerships too. So yeah, that is very strange.
Kyle Larson talking about his impression of running an IndyCar. And again, listen to this comment about Kyle Larson and the brake differential between NASCAR Cup cars and Indy cars. You're going to have more appreciation for what IndyCar drivers do after this comment from Kyle Larson.
Of being an IndyCar when you've been in the sim and everything, and where have you done laps?
Well, so I did Mid Ohio, and it was I would say, like, when I first got in it, I thought I would be out of control and, in the grass, all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I feel like I'm doing all right. Like, I felt like I got into a rhythm. And, they were just, the engineers and stuff were staying pretty quiet, and just, they would chime in like, hey, everything looks good. Just keep working on your braking zones and stuff. I'm like, okay, more brake pressure, whatever, go a little deeper. Like, yeah, that's a little better. I'm like, well, how much more do I need? And they're like, well, you need about 1,000 more pounds of brake pressure. I'm like, what? Like, so the max brake pressure there was like 2,800 pounds. That's insane. I've never pushed anything that hard. Like, for instance, here into turn one, we'd be like 800 pounds of brake pressure max. So trying to get your brain wrapped around slamming the pedal that hard and releasing it quickly, but also like maintaining some was just super difficult for me. I couldn't ever figure it out, and felt like I regressed once I got closer to the max brake pressure stuff. So, and then Felix Rosenquist, he showed up and was way faster than me, so it was starting to get frustrating. But it was just eye-opening to see data, right? Like, I've always heard about the downforce cars and braking and all that, but I've never seen the telemetry of what they're doing behind the wheel. So that was definitely interesting to see, and how consistent they can be while pushing that hard was pretty wild. So definitely eye-opening, and like I've said in other interviews, like, no matter the result from this whole experience, I'm going to come out of it a better race car driver. I already have, I think, just in the short amount of time I spent in the simulator. So it's definitely having the support that I do from the teammates at Aero McLaren as well as Chevrolet, and drivers who have raced IndyCar stuff before, as well as stock cars. I'll have a lot of people to lean on to soak up a lot of knowledge. So very, very thankful for that.
So much to glean from that, but I know we got to go.
Well, let's do this. We've got Tony Kanaan talking about teaching Kyle Larson.
There you go.
We'll get to that interview next. Your stat man Scat coming up. Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes. More from Kyle Larson, Tony Kanaan talking about this Indy 500 race coming up next year.
We got to call it what it is, the Hendrick 1100.
500 miles plus 600 miles with the Coca-Cola 600 that evening. Tony Kanaan talking about coaching Kyle Larson. It's awesome. Next, Speed Freaks Pit down at Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 Monolith Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules, throwing some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
want to say happy 50th anniversary to hip hop. Evidently, it's the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I hope to get to that story of why it is perceived to be the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And actually, some good times that I spent within the genre, frankly, back in the mid-late 90s covering hip hop. We'll get to that coming up. Also, your stat man, Scat, he saw a movie. Not your greatest film critic, but he's got some good points about this movie.
Did you finally see Barbie?
Yeah, it's all Barbie this week. That's the closest I can get to a pink shirt, too.
Hey-o!
Which goes back in our history, and I just realized, oops, didn't realize I'm wearing one.
So congratulations to Michael McDowell for winning the Cup race in Indianapolis Motor Speedway. IndyCar Series is going to land at Worldwide Technology Raceway here in a couple of weeks. Chris Blair, general manager of the track, will be here to talk about it coming up next hour. In moments, Tony Kanaan, Indy 500 winner, Champ Car, IndyCar champion, wherever the hell they're calling it.
It's all IndyCar now.
Yeah, got it. IndyCar champion. He'll be joining us in moments. Also, Scott Dixon, IndyCar winner from Indianapolis. He'll be here in the Freak Nation. What a freaking mouthful. My goodness.
That was a lot.
So Kyle Larson running the double next year. Running for, do they call it Team McLaren Hendrick, Crasher?
No, it's the teams are still separate. His IndyCar side of things is going to be the Arrow McLaren group, and the stock car side is obviously Team Hendrick Motorsports. But the sponsor on both cars and the paint scheme to tie them together with the papaya of McLaren and the blue of Hendrick, it's all papaya, white, and blue, and it's sponsored by HendrickCars.com. You see that sponsorship on Pro Stock driver Greg Anderson, who was actually in the finals tonight at Heartland Park, Topeka. You see that all over Kyle Larson's car anyway. So yes, it's a very common sponsor in the racing industry these days.
All right, so Tony Kanaan will be running the IndyCar of McLaren coming up for the 2024 Indy 500, and then hopping on a snappy jet to head to Charlotte to run the Coca-Cola 600. They're calling it the Hendrick 1100, Freak Nation. And Kyle Larson plans to do it. His coach will be Tony Kanaan.
Epic.
Yes. We talk about Kyle Larson later in the interview, but I've been turned on to this, and I think Statman can appreciate this, him being a Tour de France former rider. There's a great series on Netflix called Unchained. It's Tour de France Unchained that I've been watching. It really gives some fantastic insight. I'm thinking about Tony Kanaan because that dude is a madman. Ironman contestant, loves himself, some biking. And, of course, that's how I start off the interview with Tony Kanaan, former, Indy 500 champion and IndyCar champion, Tony Kanaan here in the Freak Nation. I promise you, we'll get to some Kyle Larson in this damn thing. First of all, Kanaan, have you been watching the Netflix series Tour de France Unchained? Dude, that is sick, Broham.
And we think we're athletes, right? Drive race cars that we would just press the pedal. I mean, it's amazing. I love it. Obviously, I'm addicted to cycling, so yes.
The reason I bring that up, because I see some similarities there between teammates in IndyCar or NASCAR blocking, utilizing their car to help the other drivers. Do you dial that up when you're watching like Tour de France going, so-and-so on my team used to do that for me, or I used to do that for that guy?
I mean, you guys been around as long as I've been around, so you remember the chemistry that Daria and I had it, and we did it all the time. Very sudden. Not a lot of people found out because you can do many things. Probably on the bike is a little bit more of an elbow and stuff. Here in the car, you just chop the guy off, and if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't realize what I did. So we did it all the time.
Hold on, though. Were there times going into a race where you guys would communicate, hey, help me on this particular area, I can help you on this particular area, or did it just come because you guys have such a chemistry, such a knowledge of each other that you just knew it on the track?
Both, right, Crash? So if you think about, if I knew where he was, I knew, especially in this place, let's say Indianapolis. I mean, if he was behind me, I would run a little high in the corner so he would have some clean air in the bottom, and vice versa. And if I see him, let's say we come out of the last corner and he's not the car direct behind me, it was a car between us, and he'll pull to the inside, I will pull to the inside to give him the draft, and that guy will be hang out. So we've done plenty of those, and we had a lot of fun doing it.
Easier said than done, though. That is spectacular. I don't see a lot of that today unless I'm missing something.
No, I think it's those kind of relationships don't happen, especially between teammates. I mean, your teammate, technically, it's your biggest rival, right? You have the same equipment, the same information. You're being judged every race. But Dario and I had a very special relationship, and I mean, I had a really good relationship with Dixon, but it wasn't that close. So I think the only guy that I really did this was him.
Okay, so now bringing it to current day, is that what you're telling Kyle Larson, that, oh, Dixon's your biggest enemy out there?
No, I said you have 32 guys that want to beat the NASCAR guy. You better get on it. So I think
was that your advice?
Yeah. I said, and you know, people keep asking me what am I going to tell him. I think the first thing, I'm not going to tell him anything. I think he needs to drive it, feel it. You don't want to preempt on something that he's going to be expecting, something that might not happen or might happen. He has proven that he's talented enough that he doesn't need. I can fine-tune him, but I'm not. He's going to win the race, not me.
I'm already just in that one answer loving Tony Kanaan, the teacher, the coach, out of the driver's seat. You are loving this too, aren't you?
I'm enjoying it a lot, Crash. I have to say I was a little skeptical after May when Zach gave me the row or asked me to do it. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy. As a driver, I asked myself, am I going to enjoy if somebody else wins and I'm standing there watching? You know, I mean, I've never watched a race in my life. I raced. And I don't like to come to the racetrack. I didn't like to come to the racetrack if I wasn't racing because I wanted to race. And I said, Zach, give me a couple races to give you a firm answer for how long I want to be here. I took one race. I said, hey, we're in. And we're in for a multi-year deal. And we had a podium in Iowa. Had a podium yesterday here. And I was in that stand. And I had as good as a thrill as I did when I drove the car in a different role. So I'm enjoying a lot. I'm lucky to be part of a big organization that, you know, they're really cool. So I'm enjoying it.
The Brazilian Stock Car Series is on MAV TV, and we're getting turned on to a fun series that, of course, you participate in. And talking about IndyCar, talking about NASCAR, the Brazilian Stock Car Series. When you hear stock car, is there any comparison to the NASCAR Cup Series?
Nah, zero, right? We're more like the V8 supercars than actually NASCAR cars. We don't race in the ovals. Our cars are a little bit different, but I haven't driven a NASCAR car, so I can't really say, this is really, you know, different or similar. But they're all race cars. And I'm available. So I retired from IndyCar, but not. Rick Hendrick is right over there. I talked to Mr. H. I said, hey, if the weekends don't clash because I have to go to every IndyCar race, all the weekends I'm off. So we'll see.
Why wouldn't they put you in one of these teams put you in a road course race? The Andy Lalleys of the world.
I don't want to get out of the game, but as you know, a really good friend of mine, an ex-teammate of mine, Jimmy Johnson, is involved somewhere. We're talking.
Are you breaking news right here in the Freak Nation?
No, I'm putting pressure on Jimmy right now.
Well, you did it with SRX with the Freak Nation, and it worked, so this might work.
There you go, Jimmy. We'll talk. And then we'll be talking. We had a fun chat prior to the events, and then but hopefully we'll put something together. I would say I probably will start an Xfinity and move. I don't think I should go straight away to get hammered by those guys.
Last thing, Brazilian Stock Car Series. How do the fans react to that? What is it? What kind of level of racing do they look at it as?
I mean, it's the biggest series in Brazil. We think about that. People that were from our generation, all the F1 guys and the IndyCar guys that retired, we're all there. So we have 80,000 people per weekend, and it's crazy competitive. 20 cars in 1 second. I was 3/10 off, and I started at 17th. So it's amazing. It's hard. I'm not doing really good right now, so I'm mad. So we're gonna go work on it.
Well, didn't talk a whole lot of Kyle Larson.
Yeah, is that technically a lie? I mean, we did talk about Kyle Larson and him being a coach and what advice he's giving and just letting him drive, but okay, we talked about a lot of other things too.
Yeah. Well,
that's just what we do.
This is kind of how we roll. Brazilian Stock Car Series. You can get it on MAV TV, Freak Nation.
Yeah,
what do you say?
TK and Sons.
TK and Sons. His lawn business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We neglected that. Shame on us. He was being tugged in 5,000 different directions, so yeah, slipped the mind.
Statman, could you be coached by Tony Kanaan?
No.
You don't know.
Well, it depends on what they want me to do. If he was going to coach me to do a stand-up, no. But if he's going to coach me to drive a car, yeah, without question.
I think that'd be so fun. That's a great poll.
There you go.
Suave. What driver, we'd have to limit it, but however you phrase it, what driver would you want to be coached by?
And why?
Oh, hell. Remember, our freaking attention span, we can't get into damn thesis, Crasher. People don't do that anymore, man. Had some guy actually tell me he's going to fax me something today.
No, you didn't.
I thought it was a joke. I think he was serious. All right, we got a break. Crash Gladys, Pit News Notes, and your stat man scat. Also, Scott Dixon. It's all coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the Octane Booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Monolak Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
might be the world's worst film critic. I tend to tell people what I think of a film after I see it. That being said, though, I saw Gran Turismo last night and kind of liked it. It's the story of Britt Jan Mardenborough, a gamer who won a global competition and became a professional driver for Nissan. It's overspiced with the stale cliches and stereotypes found in all racing films, but there's good drama in the last hour that made it worth watching, even if you're not a motorsports fan at all. Blending gamer tech with racer tech didn't hurt either, especially if you're a techie like me. Gran Turismo opens nationally next weekend. I had conversations with Jan as he was making the transition from gamer to racer some 10 years ago. He was deeply involved in the making of this film, including executive producer and stunt driver credits. Troubling, though, is the film that leaves you to believe that Jan won the first Gran Turismo competition. He didn't. That was Lucas Ordóñez of Spain. Jan won the third competition. I told you my film critic chops need a little work. Peace.
Man, Scat brought to you by good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com to find the tire for whatever you drive, man. Still a little bit of heat left in this summer. Get some new General Tires on whatever you drive, man. We do it. You should do it too. generaltire.com.
So you say your movie critique skills may need to be refined. You're a truth teller. I mean, if they're not going to be factually correct in a film, what's wrong with calling that out?
Well, I've done that before, and I was invited not to come back to any more movie premieres
because you told the truth.
Because
shame on the film industry.
What, truth in movies? Are you kidding me? It happens every time, man.
Yeah,
right.
The Franklin scale of 1 to 10. Oh, we can't find the 8. We'll make it a 7. So,
yes. Loosely based on. We used the car that they used in the Gran Turismo. When it came out, Richie was 5 years old. Why in the hell and 90 million copies later, why did they feel that they need to do it now?
I have no idea why now. There's probably a logical reason. But, they bring it out now, and they've got to fight against Barbie and Oppenheimer and everything else that's going on. It's a racing movie. It's all the cliches. I mean, they even go so far as to have the one Spanish driver in the competition. He's flirting with the women. They've got the women who are deferential to men, and any race car driver being deferential to anybody is unheard of. And, it just goes on and on. They didn't want to pick Mardenborough when he won the competition because he didn't speak well enough to the media. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, the last hour was fairly good. A lot of drama. I won't tell you all that's going on that's wrong with the film, but there's drama in the storyline that they're telling. And it made it fun at the end.
Ford versus Ferrari. Did you pick it apart as much as Kenny and I did?
Probably. Once you know the background, it's when they say based on a true story, it's like, okay, how far away are they going to get? You got to remember, it's not a documentary, so
okay, valid. Yeah,
it's the story.
Well, I did the same thing with Elton John. I did the same story, fairly the same critique of Freddie Mercury. I'll do it with any music documentary that comes out. Richie, would you consider, again, knowing that you're 5 years old, you're a freaking breeze when it comes to this? You're a PlayStation guy, probably not. But Gran Turismo was probably the first sim, right?
I think so. When it was really popular too. I remember playing Gran Turismo 4 when it first came out for PlayStation 2 when I was a teenager. And so I loved it. It was cool. That was like one of my first forays into a racing game outside of NASCAR. So I was terrible at it, but I still had fun. And when I heard they were making the movie, I was like, oh, cool. How are they going to turn this racing video game into a movie? And that they base it off of this competition is a really cool idea. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing the movie. I'm going to go see it, Statman. I'll pay $60 for popcorn and candy and all that. All the fixins. We'll make it a full going out with my friends. Buy the theater out. It's going to be great.
All right. Well,
popcorn's almost $1 a kernel when you buy it in the market.
I hope the cameras are rolling on one Jet Lawrence because it's history in the making. Let's get into some Crash Gladys pit news and notes. Again, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com. That's generaltire.com to find the tires for your righteous ride. It's generaltire.com.
All right, Kenny, you said it. NASCAR, IndyCar, the doubleheader at the Brickyard. My God, is this going to be the last time that we have them together at the Brickyard? History being made in pro motocross. NHRA literally just wrapped up, I think, 20, 30 minutes ago that Mother Nature was not kind to them. So let's start in Indianapolis. The ARCA and Truck Series ran on the small oval Friday night. Kenny, you were there. Jesse Love with the ARCA win. Now, stop me if you've heard that before. Here's something you might not know. Per our friend Charles Krull, he tweeted us that Jesse is on pace to beat Ty Gibbs's 2021 win total.
Great. I hope he beats the crap out of it. Sorry.
Wow, what does Kenny really feel about Ty Gibbs? Actually, I think it's mutual all around. But anyway, as of now, both Ty Gibbs and Jesse Love are sitting with, Ty's former record, 7 wins and 12 starts. They each have that in common. And there's many more good tracks left for Jesse Love. So I know that's what you want to see, Kenny. I know. In trucks, it was the Ty Majeski show at IRP. Ty now locking himself into the round of 8 NASCAR Trucks playoffs. Saturday was the IndyCar and NASCAR Xfinity races at IMS on the road course. The IndyCar race was relatively caution-free, but started with a crash on the first lap, collecting Scott Dixon. But Icemen do what Icemen do, right? Scott kept his cool, drove through the field, and onto the win. Dixie, we talked about this earlier, now has 19 consecutive seasons with a win, breaking his own record from last year, 18. He's a monster. He's a manster. He's a machine. All right, in the Xfinity Series, Mother Nature played her part at the beginning. Once resumed, it was AJ Allmendinger and Sam Mayer up front, but Kenny's favorite, Ty Gibbs. He was lurking, and he capitalized when necessary for the big dub. Sunday morning started with what we've been talking about, the Kyle Larson. Well, the big announcement, his Indy 500 reveal for the Hendrick 1100. And yes, he's going to be doing the Indy 500 and Coke 600 double next May, sponsored by Hendrick Cars. Then it was a relatively chill afternoon, wouldn't you say? An event that saw 3 drivers vying for it at the end. They had to win to get into the playoffs, but Michael McDowell being the one to actually get that win. He is an Indy winner and a Daytona winner. Not a lot of guys can say that. That's pretty freaking epic. All right. On to Jet Lawrence, scoring another 1-1 victory, pro motocross at Unadilla. This was his 9th in a row, clinching, obviously, the 2023 Outdoor Championship with 2 rounds remaining. Hunter Lawrence won the overall 250s with the 2-2 result. Levi Kitchen and Justin Cooper each with a moto win. In Formula D, up in Seattle, Chelsea DeNova was your winner over Dylan Hughes and James Dean. Yes, I said that. Yes, that was 3rd place. Finally, NHRA, after a lengthy rain delay today, they just ended less than an hour ago. Justin Ashley beating Brittany Force in Top Fuel with the quickest run of the weekend, I believe. This is the final time in Topeka, Heartland Park. The Heartland Nationals is what it is. Bob Tasca the third in Funny Car, and Erica Enders over another machine man. Well, Erica's a machine of her own. Yeah. Erica Enders over Greg Enderston, Pro Stock. There you go.
So you got Jesse Love, and I'm the guy that likes to beat dead horses and then pick them up and beat them again. Jesse Love, Stingray Robb, or Shane Van Gisbergen.
Van Giesenbergen.
Who cares? Of those
Burger.
Put that out there, Suave. Of those 3 names, Stingray Robb, Jesse Love, or SVG. What's another? Oh, you just said James Dean? Jim Dean?
James Dean in Formula Drift.
Jeez, man.
He does spell his last name Deane.
A 3-time champion, so we can't make too much noise.
Damn it.
James Dean, baby.
My dad named me Kenny.
Kenneth, technically, right?
Yeah. Who that? Man, should have been a damn traffic attorney or something with that name.
Serious?
All right, Freak Nation. Chris Blair, General Manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway. He's got some insight to the IndyCar weekend coming up in a couple of weeks.
They had a huge presence at IMS this weekend, by the way, so that was pretty cool.
I had breakfast mats at one of the favorite breakfast joints there in Indianapolis.
Charlie
awesome.
Brown's.
Scott Dixon and more coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios, Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500th and Monolith Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at WWTRaceway.com.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Do you own an annuity? Either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. That's 800-273-7075.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Please hang up and try again.
Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
To Freaks Fave wins the Cup race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's the second hour of the Freaks, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire and Lucas Oil. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're there for you. How you doing, Mab TV? And all of you listening on the Freak Radio Network, thank you for being a part of this. I'm told that in the works there might be a St. Louis affiliate coming on board and an Indianapolis affiliate coming on board. Fingers crossed that that's going to happen.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, but again, the Freak Radio Network been a part of this big old thing for 23 years. Sirius XM and affiliates across the country and every audio app that you can imagine. Thank you guys for keeping the Freaks alive. Some things I want to hit this hour: the 50th anniversary of rap, according to sources. We'll get to that.
Hip hop.
Excuse me. Rap is a form of.
Right.
It took me a minute, because it wasn't completely established yet what hip-hop meant in the 90s. A lot of people thought hip-hop was a genre of rap. It's not. And I'll explain from this white guy's point of view what hip-hop is. I've got some credentials, man. If you look at who I've had on the music news segments that I did in Los Angeles, you're not gonna believe it until you wait till I show you some video of interviews with Mac 10, Cube, Snoop, Master P. I could go on and on and on. That being said, Scott Dixon coming up this hour. Chris Blair.
Oh, Ice Cube. That's the Iceman. That's how you got to Scott Dixon.
Yeah,
I see.
Scott Dixon here in the Freak Nation, but what I want to do is. Really, one of the big topics for the weekend at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, of course, was the road course. Is it going away next year? It all points to it is going away next year for the NASCAR Cup Series. The double up on the weekend, IndyCar and NASCAR, I think it's not going to happen next year. Not that I don't think it's going to happen. A lot of people saying it's not going to happen.
Well, it works so well when you use the road course because everybody can run the road course. Will IndyCar run the oval that's not an Indy 500? Is it a problem to do that? I don't see it being a problem, but you know how many people are going to get upset with, oh, you can't do that to break tradition. Is that a reason to not do it? No, but I think that that's probably going to come into play. Who knows? Who knows?
You know, the problem is that Michael McDowell won. If Chase Elliott would have won the race, they said, oh, we could run the road course all the time. And that Michael McDowell won the race. So they said, we can't have that anymore. Let's change everything around.
I didn't fully grasp what Statman meant back in the 70s and 80s of these big, throaty Trans Am beasts that ran road courses. But every single time since the latest Cup car was introduced, runs on a road course. I've been a big road course proponent anyway, but just hearing these gutty, beastie Cup cars run on a road course and hearing the downshifts and the missed shifts and everything that goes with this car on road courses. I mean,
deeper braking and the technique that's required. Yes.
You've got two road courses in a row here, man. You've got Indianapolis Motor Speedway, then Watkins Glen next week. It's a Kenny Sargent's freaking dream. But my point is this, this is a pipe dream. I understand that. But before I crap the bed, wouldn't it be awesome if we had more road courses in NASCAR? And hopefully I'm not crapping the bed for a long. I'm just let me talk, Crash.
I know, but here's the deal.
I know it's not going to happen.
No. What I'm saying is we started this show. We started this show with 15 years of only 2 road courses. So we should be very happy with having, what do we have now? 6, 7, 8? I mean, come on.
You got it's called the Roval in Oval Central, Charlotte, North Carolina. You got a road course there. I don't know where the hell I'm going with this damn thing. No, I know where I'm going with it. How much time do we have? I know where we're going with this damn thing. So
thought you wanted to talk.
I did. Damn it. Curveballs here in the middle of the damn show, and I'm having to hit him out of the park. Well, the stat man just grabbed it between his legs as the shortstop that he is and threw it over to first base. Listen, I love
Kenny needs sleep.
I just love myself some big ass race cars. Indy cars, Formula One, I get it. Cool road courses, but big, throaty, wheel-based, fat tires, just 8 sounds like 16 freaking cylinders. I love it. And we talked about this with Tony Kanaan about the Brazilian stock car series. And it seems like the new craze are these dudes that run in these stock car series in other countries coming over here and trying their wares in the Cup Series. And SVG, Crasher, pronounces his name correctly on the first shot?
No, can't. Shane Van Giesenberg?
Suave?
Again?
Shane Van Gisbergen.
It's not. There's no geese in there. Yeah, Gisbergen.
Gisbergen.
All right.
Giz. I want geese.
He came over, won the Chicago Street Course in the Cup race, and ran his first oval Friday night
at
Indianapolis Raceway Park, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. And he's one of those guys that you just listen to him talk, not because of his accent, because he's just happy to freaking be there. And I'm not going to give you any prompt to each of his answers in this. It's about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long. You know what he's talking about. But the press clamored for him, not Ty Majeski, who won the race. The press clamored to talk to this guy after the race because of what he did in Chicago. And then Nice Motorsports puts him in a truck to run in freaking Indianapolis. Just listen to this guy. Tell me you don't want him to win every damn race.
So Scott Dixon, typically when we start an interview,
that's not Scott. That's not the one I wanted. Damn it. Sorry.
Different Kiwi, by the way.
Sorry.
Different Kiwi.
All right, here he is.
Just probably gave the wrong adjustment at the end from my feedback, but every stint I learned something, and yeah, well, it was three wide for a couple of laps. It was crazy, but I was laughing a fair bit and had some mates on the infield. I was waving at them, and yeah, it was a blast. Definitely using the brake differently. At the start, I was using it to stop the car and turn in, and at the end, I was using the brake to try and flow and balance the car. And Max Pappas gave me that advice before I got in. And just when I had some clear running and I was on my own, I started experimenting and trying things with the left rear brake lockout, and just moving around the racetrack trying to learn things. And I think I learned so much more. I'd love to start the race again. It was more respectful than I thought. I watched last year's race and thought, what have I got myself into? But everyone I raced was good, and 3 wide, there was only small contacts, and the people I was around, it was really fun. I'd never had a spotter until before Chicago, so hearing that and so many cars around me and then 2 wide in front, I didn't really know what to do, and there was probably 3 laps where we were 3 wide, and I was up the top just trying to be skinny, so it was a lot of fun. I knew I was going to like it, but the whole time I was laughing and seeing people sliding and moving around. That first stint, I took off pretty slow, and at the end I was catching people and watching them struggle was pretty fun, but then it was the opposite in the last stint. But
come on.
Yeah, he's just a good
Stat
dude.
man, don't you want that guy to go out there and just kick the ass?
Yeah, I mean, he actually said at the end of the Cup race today, he said that part of the win in Chicago was because the track was new to everybody, and this time he had to come race on a track that people knew. So, he was trying to learn, catch up with everybody else. Still finished in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's, there's a lot of guys that couldn't do that. Andy Lally didn't. The Kobayashi or whatever his name was, he didn't do it.
Kobayashi,
Jensen Button was a lap down. He's a former F1 champion. And Mike Rockenfeller. He and I have a little history together, in fact.
Again, props to our friend Jess Peters with MAV TV for grabbing that audio video of SVG after the Indianapolis Raceway Park, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park race. I just like pleasant people. I'm in an age now where I have no time for a-holes. Right.
So we've talked about Ty Gibbs and now SVG, and you've given us your opinion on which one you like and which one you don't. So we see what you're putting down.
Yep. I could not agree with you more.
Right.
It's one of the smartest things you ever said in 23 years.
Well, like I said now, at my age now, stat man, 15 years ago, I could tolerate some a-holes to get that soundbite.
The bigger they are, the nicer they are. I've always said that. That's sure the truth.
So it was great to see that that SVG had a damn good time, grabbing himself a top 10 in the Cup Series race at Indianapolis. How much time do we have? About a minute. I think, Statman, you made a good point on our text thread here was if they're taking away Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course, they're going to put it at Daytona.
Yeah, run the July race at Daytona on the road course there.
Oh, no.
Crash.
It's just such a cool, chill weekend, and to have NASCAR and IndyCar on the same track, don't ruin this just because you want another oval. You're going to have an oval, a place that seats about 300,000 people. You're going to have 60, 70,000 people show up. It's going to look like crap. Just stick with the road course.
Freak Nation, one of the best ovals on the planet, Worldwide Technology Raceway, IndyCar Series lands there next. Chris Blair of this track joins us next.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Bommarito Automotive Group 500 Monolak Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
It's good to get our buddy Chris Blair here in the Freak Nation, General Manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway. Spent a good time with him over the past 2 or 3 days. trailing him, watching him and Curtis and the Bomberito group do their thing. But real quick, Chris, you can hear us all right, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay. Now I saw your tweet, and Richard Suave, the guy, he's one of my favorite human beings on the planet. But Richie, could you not find the G-damn picture of Blair when you set that up, buddy? You put the freaking logo of the track and not a picture of Blair? What the hell is that, buddy?
Hey, we're promoting the racetrack, all right? We were promoting the racetrack. We're promoting the race, the Bomberito Automotive Group 500, which is coming up in a couple weeks. So we give love to the racetrack. I'm sure Chris, being the marketing guru he is, will understand why I made that choice.
Okay, we'll take that. That's fine.
Well done, Richie.
All right,
okay.
Richie, thanks, man.
Okay.
All right, so we kick Richie out of here, and we bring in Chris Blair.
Thanks for playing, Richie. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, so Chris Blair, General Manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway here in the Freak Nation. You got the big Bomberito Auto Group 500 coming up 2 weeks from today. There at the track. Did the race set up nicely for you coming up in a couple of weeks?
It wasn't necessarily what I'd hoped for. I'd hoped we'd have a big points battle coming in with everything on the line, and that didn't happen. So now it's basically going to be one of those things where Joseph is going to have to hope that Alex doesn't show up for the next couple of races and he can win a few. So we're just playing up on the fact that what we're looking at right now, Joseph could set the all-time record, I believe, for most consecutive oval wins or something like that. I was talking to Mike Zizzo today, and told him if we got to come up with some story angles, maybe that's the story angle we're going to go with, is playing up on Joseph chasing history.
Chasing history, or maybe even coming in with a vengeance because of what happened in Indianapolis. And he is so successful at Worldwide Technology Raceway that the vengeance might be kind of nice to watch.
Yeah, he's won 4 of the 7 events that we've had, and so he dominates the racetrack. So if there was ever one that he could come back and really change what was a bad day for him, then this would be the one that could do it. So pretty excited about that. It should be a good race.
Okay, so tell everybody, you have been one of the best promoters in all of motorsports, whether it's NHRA or NASCAR or IndyCar. You've got that mind. You know how to get people. And sometimes the stuff is just so obvious, but other people just aren't doing it. So you say, why not? Tell us what you did at the Charlie Brown's restaurant in Indianapolis.
Well, the story behind this one was funny. I was having lunch with Robin Miller there years ago. And we were just talking about, he was saying, you need to make sure you're hanging stuff up here in the restaurant so that when people are in town, everybody comes here. All the IndyCar fans come there. And so I go out to the front, and there's like 40 things hanging on the doorway. And I'm like, okay, if I hang something here, it's just going to get lost. And we went over and started talking to them. And then it's kind of funny. Taylor, who works in my ticket office, she had a friend that was connected with Charlie Brown's, and they said that one thing they needed was the placemats. So we cut a deal with them where we provide their placemats, and I get more comments about the placemats at Charlie Brown's than just about anything else we do. I mean, we hang signs on the side of buildings in that town to try to promote the race, and people all they want to talk about is the pancakes. So hey, it works. That was the most. I got on the elevator yesterday, show up at IMS. I get on the elevator, and this guy's behind me, and he says, it's absolutely brilliant that you sponsor the placemats at Charlie Brown's. And we just like pancakes, man. That's all there is to this. And it was just, a tip that Robin Miller kind of got going, that you need, if you want to go after the IndyCar fans, you got to go to Charlie Brown's. So it's like you fish where the fish are. So that's what we're trying to do, is get those old fans to come on down, make a short drive down to see us at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Brilliant.
I don't think it's brilliant. I mean, heck, we just like pancakes. That's all there is to it. Who doesn't like Charlie Brown's pancakes? So it worked.
Yeah, but it's not in your city. It's in another city. But yes, it's the fan base you want. Worldwide Technology Raceway is advertising that they can in Indianapolis. I do think it's brilliant.
Well, and here's the great thing about that. Doug Bowles is the greatest guy on the planet, and Doug is okay with us coming into his backyard to promote our events. Now, he likes that we wait a little bit till after he sold his tickets before we start hammering things. But Doug's been really supportive of everything that we do, and we just got to get out there and get in front of it. We share a lot of our fans, and it's all about growing the sport of IndyCar racing, and that's one of the things we want to try to do too.
Chris Blair, I feel like I want to talk to you about drifting, but I know that's far. That's a rabbit hole we can't go down right now. Are you home already? What time did you leave Indy to be sitting in your living room on a couch?
I watched part of the start of the race. I would have stayed for the whole race, but we're having a media tour tomorrow morning with Joseph Newgarden. He's coming to town. So we're going to be doing a bunch of promotion with him, so I couldn't stick around. And funny you say, talk about drifting. So I get home and I find out that my son, Austin, bought another drift car. So I think we're up to like 4 of them. He found a GTO that he drove from Indiana. He worked the SRX race. He flew the drone at the SRX race the other night. He finds out that there's a GTO for sale somewhere in Indiana, takes his paycheck and goes and buys this GTO and drives it down I-70 in full drifting setup mode so he could drift it Friday night. So now we've got, I think at least 3 cars that we can drift.
That might be Reese Millen's old car. You better check. It might have some history.
Yeah, but so you never know what you're going to get when it comes to drifting around here. But we had a great Formula Drift event, and it's something we really love here in this household.
So let's talk about, you're an oval guy at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We had a little conversation earlier in the show about whether or not we should have a road course sharing the weekend at Indianapolis, or let them go back to, like they did in the Brickyard, race around the oval. What do you think about that? Do you think they ought to drop the oval from the Indy weekend?
I'm not going to touch that one because that's not my racetrack. So I've learned that you have to stay in my lane, okay? And my lane is what's happening at Worldwide Technology Raceway. But I will tell you, this weekend at Indy, and you guys that were there, you'll know this, it was probably one of the most positive weekends I've seen in many, many years. With everything that was going on, IRP was really positive. All the stuff going on at the Brickyard, whether it was NASCAR, whether it was IndyCar, whether it was the Xfinity Series, there was just a lot of happy people, both fan people and industry people. And I really left there really upbeat on everything that's going on with the sport right now. So that was great to see.
Chris,
that's why I don't want it to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Statman. I was just saying that's why I don't want it to go away. It's such a happy atmosphere.
Does that help you, Chris, to have that good feeling, and you're the next event on the calendar? Everybody feels good about what's going on. Does that help you sell tickets?
Oh, it never hurts. And that's the thing about it. If people are having a good time and just all the positives that came out about that, when you're going on social media right now, no one's complaining. Everybody enjoyed yesterday's IndyCar race. Everybody enjoyed today's NASCAR race. It helps a lot, because last thing you want to do is for people to go somewhere and see a lousy event, and then you're trying to sell tickets the next time out of the box. So and everything about that IndyCar race, I can't believe people aren't talking about that start. I mean, the start was amazing when they're going 3 and 4 wide, and guys coming from 6th place into the lead on the first turn. I mean, that was absolutely amazing. And the IndyCar's got such a great product right now. And one of the things too that yesterday there was a team owners meeting with all the IndyCar team owners, and just the positives that was coming out of that, of how IndyCar is really getting a lot of momentum. There's the fan interest is skewing a lot younger with some of the things that they're reporting to us. And we're all pumped up about what may be coming down the pike with everything with IndyCar. So that's fantastic.
So a team owner meeting with Zach Brown sitting next to Chip Ganassi.
Okay, well, don't touch that one either, man.
But here's what I was thinking. But everybody's talking about Elon Musk and Zuckerberg having their MMA match. I think we ought to have a wrestling ring at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and we get Chip and we get Zach, and they just wrestle it out. They just settled this whole thing about who owns who and who's paying for what. I mean, I think it'd be fun. That'd be a nice show.
Hey, Gossage was doing it. Why don't you do it, Blair? Hey,
we're doing it.
Blair, there's still some seats left for your race coming up next couple of weeks. You got a big Saturday and a big Sunday. Share with the Freak Nation, start to finish, before we got to get the hell out of here.
It's a wide open, another full show on Saturday. The Indy Next Series, biggest field they've ever brought to town. They're coming in with the show on Saturday. Then we're going to be having the Indy practice and qualifying, going to add that extra session on Saturday. We've got some music and live events going on there. We're even promoting a dirt track event down at Ken Schrader's track at Peevely. We've got the IRA sprint cars, first time they've ever been at Schrader's place, so that should be a good race on Saturday. Sunday, we come back with vintage Indy cars. We have the USAC Silver Crown Series, first time we've had Silver Crown and IndyCar on the same day, and then the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. And this week, we're going to announce that we have a big musical act. Flostradamus will be performing leading into the race.
Chris, say goodbye. TV's got to cut us short.
See ya.
All right. Love you. Chris Blair here in the Freak Nation. More freaks coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 Motorbike Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules. Throw in some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
Freak Nation. This segment brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com to check out a truly huge line of tires. Your minivan, sports car, a big old fat F-250. General Tire has the tire for your rides, man. It's going to get sloppy in the fall, going to get cold in the winter. Make sure you got new sets of rubbers there. I'm already talking fall and winter when it's still $110 in Phoenix. Damn it. Go to generaltire.com, Freak Nation. And again, WWTRaceway.com for tickets for one of the baddest freaking ovals on the IndyCar series. Will be happening in 2 weeks, again, with IndyCar at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Speaking of IndyCar, Scott Dixon won the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course for the IndyCar series. 19 straight years for this dude to win a race. And Iceman's creeping up there. Number 2 in points. He joins us now, SpeedFreaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. So, Scott Dixon, typically when we start an interview, we don't talk any racing, and we're talking about stink right now. About the one good stink about racing is when you win, right?
Yeah, the sweat and champagne and a bit of like that beer. I don't know what that is. It's a morning timber. It's pretty thick.
The celebrations have gotten better in IndyCar. I'm seeing a very good spray with the bottles now. Yeah. Is that something that you as an older guy said, look, guys, we got to change this S up. We got to get a little bit more excited with these celebrations?
Well, from what I hear, bigger is better, right? So we need bigger champagnes. That isn't always the case. Sometimes we have some teeny tiny ones. And they, I don't know how much a champagne costs. Can't be that expensive. They need to upgrade. But here was like a medium. So they've still got room to improve, but spraying champagne is always fun.
Or one of the first things you do when you wake up in the morning, I'm being serious about this, is look at the weather and think what the humidity is going to be, and that's how much you're going to hydrate. Put your hand on your head and go, oh my God, it's going to be nuts.
Hydration is key, right? It's especially with the current car, like it's with the screen, like there's no flow, so it's very tough. And a lot of the drivers actually wore cool suits today. I opted not to because I didn't think it was going to be that difficult. And luckily, it was more of a fuel save race for me. I didn't know. No, I'm pretty soaked here, man. But I woke up this morning with hydration in my mind, as you said, and made sure I hydrated. And I thought I was going to have to wee in the car, but luckily I was burning that off, so I didn't have to.
Scott, 19 years. I know you've talked about this ad nauseum now, but did you ever think that it would get to this point, or was there a moment of doubt when you weren't winning and thought, well, if I don't win for 19 years, so what?
Yeah, I think there's always doubt. That's the hard part. I think any race day or race weekend, you kind of always have that lingering. And to be honest, the Indy road course is not a strong suit for me. I always feel like our race pace is pretty good, but, qualifying is tough, and it definitely started that way for us this weekend. I made a mistake and didn't convert out of Q1, but yeah, unfortunately, that's that lingering doubt that I would like to say most people have it, but I think all race car drivers have it for sure.
You just brought a brand new meaning to spin to win at Indy. That's just crazy to think about. So, hence that poor qualifying, shall we say, onto the win. Yeah, this is shocking to not just you, but everyone.
I was kind of mad, though, because I think I'd made maybe one of the best starts I'd ever had. I'd kind of got up to like 8th or 9th. I'd made 5 or 6 spots on my first 3 or 4 corners, and then got to turn 7. And, I thought I was going to make a couple more, and then got hit from behind and spun. But, I think with that point, obviously, I can now say I've had a spin to win at Indy, which that's more credit. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed because I was like, man, I had a really good start. This is pretty cool, and it was taken away from me immediately. But that also I think put us into the strategy of reset and go to the 2-stop and got us on our way for that one.
Well, bottom line, I have a video of your kids celebrating. The girls are just going nuts. Kit still needs to kind of understand this, or is he as cool and calm-mannered as you are?
Kit's all about the cars, man. He's calm out. I've never met anything like it, or anyone like him. And for me, I was never car mad. I loved racing for all my career, obviously, but I was never about cars. But he can even pick out a Lamborghini. He can pick out a Porsche. Like, it's crazy. He's only 3.
Uncle Dario's been teaching him.
I know. Some bad cars to like too. I don't want to have to be paying for those. But all he was worried about after the race was the fire chicken. So he's like, "Where's the fireman?" The fireman. I'm like, the Firehawk. So He didn't really care about me, which is understandable. But it was cool to have a podium picture with him.
So Scott Dixon, we'll wrap it up with this. You and Ganassi have had your share of race wins. Do you listen to his advice anymore, or does he listen to a dude that's won 19 straight years?
Of course I listen to him. He sends me a check every month. No. Chip, I think you got to give him credit, man. Honestly, he's one of the most competitive people that I've ever met, him and my wife. So I get it at the track and I get it at home. But, you got to look at the stats, man. The guy, what he's achieved is phenomenal. So it's also why I've stuck around for 20 plus years. I love driving for this team. I love, just I guess not the pressure, but what, he gives to this team on the competitive side is impressive. All he talks about is winning, and man, he gets the job done.
Thanks, brother.
Cheers, man.
And frankly, he did stink. Champagne, when it's 95 degrees and 66% humidity on anything, sucks hind boob. So who do you say on the Mount Rushmore of IndyCar? Scott Dixon, Mario, AJ Foyt, and the Nuncer?
Ooh. That's a battle for that fourth spot.
Mears? Statman?
Does Dario get in the conversation? Oof.
Well, wait a minute. You're saying AJ, Mario, Scott Dixon, and
who's the fourth? That's the argument.
Yeah, well, you got to have a video screen that changes every day or so. You got to have an answer. You got to have Rick Mears.
But Mount Rushmore's only 4.
Well, then you got
Come on, Stat.
Who falls off?
Call it, Stat man. Call it.
You got to have an answer. Between Bobby and Al Jr., that's a dozen or more championships. You got to have an answer.
And I wouldn't hate it if they put Al Jr. up there, Crasher.
Yeah, no. Well, he has 2 Indy 500 wins and 2 championships. And you know what? He didn't race as long. He's not up on the list with Al and AJ and now Dixon and Will Power even. So, yeah, I don't think his list of accomplishments, although great in a short amount of time, they don't span time like the other guys do.
So what do you do? Do you do you just put the name answer up there?
And it represents the family.
Yeah. Or do you put the 3 heads of Foyt, Mario, Dixon, and then the little 3 heads of Unsers up there?
Yeah, well, you got to put Bobby, I guess, because he's a senior. You got to put Bobby. He won the first championship for the family, I think. I don't think Louis didn't win any championships. So, you got to put Bobby.
Remember when freaking Sam Hornish was on a run to be the end-all, be-all IndyCar, and he just said, I'm going to go run some Xfinity Series in NASCAR and then just leave. Oh.
And now he builds things. He builds things for his daughters and son, too. I mean, yeah, I think Sam's doing just fine.
I mean, no one has more championships than Scott Dixon, right?
He's...
Right?
Is he tied with?
Yeah, no, he's got 6, and nobody's got more than 6. Nobody has 6.
So there's no arguing Dixon has to be up there.
Yeah,
it's who of the legends needs to fall off. Which stinks. You don't want to think about that, but Dixon's now a living legend. So
the only thing, and this is ugly, but people could say it's got to be an American that goes up on the Rushmore.
Ugh. No, IndyCar's not a fully American. I couldn't stand that argument when it was in the 2000s. The series survives with talent from around the world, period. Stop trying to Americanize IndyCar.
I'm telling you what people are going to say.
I know.
Since 2016.
Agreed. Statman, I know that's out there, but yeah. And I don't think you're a fan of it either. So yeah, I know. We're just saying what's there.
I'm just saying that's going to be an argument.
Yeah.
I told you how I feel about Dixon. Dixon is the dude, but yeah.
Yeah, I just think what Scott Dixon
has done. And again, you can say Mario and AJ Foyt. And Suave, real quick. Damn it, we got about 50 seconds. What's more impressive, what AJ Foyt, Mario done running IndyCar, winning those races and championships, and then on top of that, running dirt and stock cars and other series, or what Scott Dixon continues to do and just focus on running IndyCar?
Way more competition now than there ever was back in the earlier days of any motorsport.
So Dixon?
Dixon, yes.
Got
it. Go to the residential. All right. Coming up next, your Statman Scat and 50 years of hip-hop. I'm not saying I played some of that. Well, I played with it. I'll explain next. Speed Freaks Pits on Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
Well, I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil Parts Cleaner and Degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil Power Steering Fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the Octane Booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500th and Monolith Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
This segment of Speed Freaks is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, you hear us talk about constant travel, time commitments, and a slew of other life schedules, throwing some unexpected curveballs that life throws our way. It's easy to get lost and in need of some guidance to get back on track. And that's where BetterHelp.com comes in. Go to BetterHelp.com/freaks and get 10% off your first month. Tap into the world's largest network of licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a range of issues, including depression, anxiety, relationships, grief, and more. With BetterHelp.com's therapist, you get the same quality you'd expect from an in-office therapist, but you can communicate with them when and how you want, anytime from anywhere. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/freaks for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/freaks.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
I might be the world's worst film critic. I tend to tell people what I think of a film after I see it. That being said, though, I saw Gran Turismo last night and kind of liked it. It's the story of Brit Jan Mardenborough, a gamer who won a global competition and became a professional driver for Nissan. It's overspiced with the stale cliches and stereotypes found in all racing films, but there's good drama in the last hour that made it worth watching, even if you're not a motorsports fan at all. Blending gamer tech with racer tech didn't hurt either, especially if you're a techie like me. Gran Turismo opens nationally next weekend. I had conversations with Jan as he was making the transition from gamer to racer some 10 years ago. He was deeply involved in the making of this film, including executive producer and stunt driver credits. Troubling, though, is the film that leaves you to believe that Jan won the first Gran Turismo competition. He didn't. That was Lucas Ordóñez of Spain. Jan won the third competition. I told you my film critic chops need a little work. Peace.
Your Statman Scat, brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com to find a line of products to keep that big old V8, that old 67 Mustang you got in the garage, keep it running smooth. Go to lucasoil.com. Statman didn't remind me. He told me that today is from, I don't know who decided this, but I guess today is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. And I say that I don't know who declared. Statman, do you have the text in front of you? I think I got it, right?
The actual declaration of.
Yeah, well, the CBS News is saying that. It was from CBS Sunday Morning this morning. Yeah.
All right, so August 11th, 1973, a summer gathering in an apartment building in New York's Bronx neighborhood of Morris Heights marked what some consider to be the birth of hip-hop. Clive Campbell, DJ Kool Herc, was at the turntables. Okay.
Okay, so it's not today, but it's this weekend.
Well,
right.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Still,
okay. Again, hip hop is from what I learned. I put my toe in hip hop, alternative music, and I mean alternative to heavy metal and rock and roll, when I had a gig at UPN News 13 in Los Angeles. Statman was there. That's first how I met Statman, was working with him as producer there. And we had the best freaking news director that just trusted me on my musical instincts. And I thought it was cool that I could start to take lefts and rights and ups and down type turns from my typical rock and pop interviews that I was doing. And I was writing down the list, Statman, of guys that 1 week you'd see me with Metallica, Celine Dion, and then it'd be Mac 10, Ice Cube, Ice-T, WC, Master P, Snoop, Busta Rhymes, Lauryn Hill, Missy Elliott, before she was Missy Elliott. These are names that came to my mind. I'm sure I'm forgetting another half a dozen. I mean, so much so that my two biggest platinum records that were given to me were from rap labels that are don't listen. As evidence, if you're watching this on MAV TV, I'm damn near the whitest guy this side of the room. Whitest guy this side of the room. But I had a news director that, frankly, Statman, you loved him too, that said, sure, I trust you. Let's roll with it, man. DJ Kool. Here's Statman. You know the story where I was headed to go interview, which many regards as one of the greatest rappers of all time. However, my camera person got a call from the front desk saying,
who though?
I'm not there yet,
Oh,
Crasher.
okay. So
my camera person got a call from the front desk, the dispatcher. What do they call them there, Stat, at the newsrooms?
The assignment editor?
Yeah, the assignment editor said, turn the car around, bring Kenny back. We need to send so-and-so to a shooting. And it was the Hollywood shootings? They were going down outside out of a Bank of America, where it was just a brutal. It was gnarly.
North Hollywood, the North Hollywood bank shootout. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a movie was done about it, right?
Yes, a couple movies, yeah.
So they took my camera. We're going to throw you into the line of fire. But you know where I was headed? About 4 or 5 days before he was shot, outside of Peterson Automotive Museum, Biggie Smalls. I was headed to sit down with Notorious B.I.G.
Oh.
Wow. That was huge. That would have been one of his last.
Right. Isn't that? I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
There were some people that say, I don't know if this is true or not, but the Rapper's Delight, the song that kind of launched the whole rap thing, and that hip hop was part of the lyrics. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to start rapping here freestyle, but hip hop was part of the lyrics, and that nobody knew what hip hop was, and they would go ask for the record, and they say, that hip hop record. I don't know, that's kind of what they're saying is how that hip hop name stuck and got launched 50 years later. They're still having the party.
Queen Latifah, I sat down with her twice. Oh man, see, I could go on, and I sound like kind of a D-bag dropping all these freaking names. But it was different for us at UP and News 13 to be able to have these rappers on the show, and
people responded to that. It wasn't like something that you just did out of the goodness of your heart. People responded to it, and that was important. Even though we didn't get one on Sergeant Saturday Night, that was
right.
Who knows what the Borders Books and Music in Hollywood would have responded to Ice Cube rapping on the second floor, but that's another story.
But here's what I learned. Again, hip hop. Remind me to go back to that. Put a pin in that, Crasher. What Run DMC and Aerosmith did for rap and hip hop is, in my opinion, in my opinion, as big as it gets in taking hip hop and putting it right in front of the general public and going, here it is. Because if you listen to Steven Tyler, he had his own form of, I know it's sacrilegious to say this, had his own form of rapping, not as a rapper, but just he was a wordsmith. But when him, Joe Perry, and Run DMC put that video out, over.
Yeah, even the video that they released kind of illustrated that, where he breaks through the wall and brings the two together. Yeah, that was how people had no idea one or the other that made it big.
Okay, so let me get back to the thing I put a pin in,
The
Crasher.
pin. There you go.
Hip hop, and again, I was that white guy that said he's a hip hopper, and then I was slowly schooled on really what hip hop was, and it may have changed since then. But hip hop is a culture. It's a culture from the clothes to the way you talk to even some of your beliefs, and the music is part of that. It's the hip hop culture. Rappers are part of hip hop. I don't know if it's changed. Statman, tell me if it's changed. But that was the nucleus of it was, rap, but it was the culture centered around rap, to where it was black, people of color music. And then we saw what happened when the teenage white boys and 20-something white guys got involved, and it just became this whole hip hop culture to where white guys are wearing what black dudes have been wearing for years. And the light bulb went off. A lot of people went, okay, I get it. It's a freaking culture.
Yeah. And Eminem, when he hooked up with Dre, that took it a whole nother direction. That's kind of the same way outside of East versus West. That's kind of the same thing that exists now.
And that was brutal. Man, I wish we had more time to talk about this. We got a break here in about a minute and a half. When I was doing, damn it, I got a break here in 50 seconds. Crap. I mean, that was brutal. East versus West. Go check on your history. That was deadly. East versus West. Not saying it was part of it. Biggie, Tupac. East versus West. Yep. Oh, Stat, thanks for sending that text, man. I had fun bragging a little bit. Stat man, shoot the juice to the moose.
Cut it loose.
Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. Huge show. Enjoyed the hell out of it, man. Thank you, Mav TV and the Freak Radio Network, Crasher, Suave, Triple F. Thank you, guys. Later.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive. Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Bommarito Automotive Group 500 Motorline Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle.
Here we go! In St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's time to mark your calendar. Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th.
Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Do you own an annuity? Either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. That's 800-273-7075.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.